that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on Black family, you know? And my grandfather, I watched my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a Black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, Black men, and I tell my Black men to really step up for Black women and create families.
Yeah.
It's really not cool. Black men are attacking Black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes. We're witnessing city girls, we're witnessing this and that. And it's like the genders are doing this.
Clashing.
It is really destroying families. Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man. If you are not married, it is not respected. Family is respected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call a woman a bitch in Nashville because they'll never even listen to your music and your professional career will suffer. At what point in the Black community do our men create real homes?
Man, you got this chick up here with petroleum bags with fake nipples on her skirt trying to call out Black men. Get your shit together first. And all that crying shit, y'all gotta stop falling for that crying shit. But who wanna go?
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead.
I just, yeah, like you said earlier, because I like to call this thing called hoflation. I think it's like Black men and Black women are causing this problem. We see the lack of Black men in their household, and we see a huge problem in our young girls. They're dressing like hoes, and when I go to school, when I walk up the stairs, why am I seeing butt cheeks and 8 a.m. in the morning? It's causing, it's just hoflation, basically. And I think we need to stop this hoflation. And that's why you see women who dress more conservative, like she brought up the women in Nashville, Tennessee. Those women are dressed. You barely see them naked, like Carrie Underwood. She's married with a family, and she was recently under some controversy. Nobody calls her a hoe, mainly because that's not her image. She's not a hoe. This woman, what was her name again?
K. Michelle.
She has this huge butt. It's taking up the couch. These huge breasts, and I can see them. They're very visual. But yeah,
now she got a refund on her ass. She took her ass back, I think.
Yeah, but that is huge, and she should probably cover up a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know what it looked like now, but didn't she take her ass back?
I think she probably did, but yeah. She was on Love and Hip Hop, and then she actually dated Lil Wayne baby mama husband before she was with her, or he was with her. So like, and she had like 2 or 3 hit songs, but yeah, that's who she is.
And I would also like to add, I think it's a reason why we have this is a lack of religion. We have people, a lot of in the Black community, a lot of people like to preach the prosperity gospel also, and that's the factor that plays into this. But in the Black church, we're not really going based off the Bible. We're not. It's like when I go to like a lot of Southern churches down here. I live in South Carolina. A lot of women are dressing like hoes as well, and women are supposed to dress modestly. Men and women are supposed to dress modestly, and it's a lot of lukewarm Christians out there now. So, I'm a Christian, I'm a full-blown Christian, but I'm going to go abort this baby the next day, or I'm going to go to the club the night before. So yeah, I think it's the lack of religion, the lack of Christ that's also dividing us in the Black community as well.
Yeah, I say that too. A lot of people don't respect God anymore. They don't take him serious. He forgiving too much. That's what's going on. You gotta stop forgiving so much. Maybe they'll get it together. Start sending some lightning bolts and asteroids and stuff. Maybe you get it together. I don't know. Iran might do that. Go, King J.
I wouldn't. So I'm gonna put my personal opinion, what is going on with the black household? Um, the government, the way our the way the black community has been brought up. I mean, when we talk particularly about African Americans, we have to address the issues that we've had since the beginning of them bringing us here into this country. And so far as the music does play a role in the way our young women and our women behave, but you have to look at who's controlling that music. The artist, yes, makes the music, but who is actually controlling the music? Who's actually selling it? Who's actually profiting off of it? Because profit, wherever you can find the money at, that's what that you follow where the money leads to. So far as that, church, we're all not, well, I can say this, all of us are not Christians, so I do not force my views on people. I think it's really the lack of like good communication between the black man and the black woman. And then I've also seen this thing where women, because black women are the most educated population in this nation. That is a fact. They have the most degrees out of all other demographics. I think that plays an issue too when we talk about black women and black men, because now you're seeing women out earn men. And I think a lot of men from traditional values that have traditional values don't like seeing that. So I think that brings a lot of problems into the household too, because me as a man, how can I accept my woman going out and making 30 times what I'm making, but you don't have any degrees, so of course she's going to make more money than you. So I think that plays a pivotal part in that as well.
I mean, yeah, I have to go against that. If you a man's man, a degree is just a certificate from the government in a sense. It's from an indoctrinated institution. As a man, and I'm trying to tell more of me in this, just because your woman make more than you don't mean shit. Like my wife has a bigger degree than I do. I didn't finish school. You know what I'm saying? Like I just have an associate's. So, but the thing is, I'm good with money. I'm good at holding it. I don't need as much money to live as some of these women do, right? Like I have a lot of investments. My wife didn't even know. She's like, you know what? I be trying to show her just so I can keep her in the loop on our finances. She's like, I don't want to see it. Like she has the attention span of an ant. When I try to go in Charles Schwab, she's like, I don't want to see it. She's like, that's up to you for you to handle it. So we gotta stop saying just because women make more don't mean shit. If we get our shit together as men, we still can run our house. To me, I'm a man first. So no woman, I don't care if it's Rihanna. Rihanna's never going to come tell me anything to do, even though she got billions, because I'm a man first. We have to do that. We have to start taking our power back and understanding that we're men. We're at the top of the food chain on this planet. And no matter how much money is there, if shit hits the fan, women are going to look to you for that protection. As a matter of fact, a woman don't even want you if she feel like you can't protect her. So y'all got to get out of this whole, if they got the degrees, they making the money, they run shit. No, that don't mean shit. You still a man. And we got to
also, when we talk about these issues as well, I think it's very important that her counterpart has some type of education, because women are intellectual creatures. I don't like using that word, but they are intellectual creatures. For you to actually this is my
social, they're social creatures.
For you to actually satisfy, you have to somewhat intellectually stimulate her as well.
No,
that's just my.
No, you don't. They're social creatures. If you give them what they need to protect them, they can go to their friends and get that. Like you can give them some of it, but you shouldn't be giving them everything. Like they need their own space. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to say they're intellectual. No, as a man, if you're responsible, like we thinking that's like a whole left, right? Because I get that when I have debates with liberals. They're like, y'all not educated, MAGA, y'all dumb, y'all don't have. No, I'm a mechanic. I'm not the most talkative person if you haven't seen on here. I'm getting better with my speech. But if it comes to building a house, a car, electronics, reading sheets, building a spreadsheet with numbers, I'm good all day. So you don't have to be that intellectual if you know how to take care of your woman and listen. Sometimes you can just listen.
If y'all haven't figured it out, Vogler's red pill. But my take on it with K Michelle is gonna be with the music. Like As far as the music, people don't want to hear anything hunky dory. Like my life is a regular hunky dory life. If I go listen to a song, I kind of want to listen to stuff that I can't do. So is it bad? Absolutely. But I think it's an escape for people when they listen to like certain music. But Alma, I know you didn't get to go. What's your take on this?
So I come to this from a very different perspective because I am an immigrant, and so I come from a different background. And since I've been in America the last 20 years, I've lived in a predominantly white community. And so I am not connected to Black culture. I'm not connected to, African American culture and so on. However, the parallel that I would like to draw is the parallel of where I come from. Where I come from, people don't have a lot in terms of material possessions. Many people are struggling. However, even in the midst of that struggle, we don't have as many broken homes, right? Right this moment, there are people who are contemplating what kind of food they're going to eat and how they're going to feed their families. How are you going to pay for school? You don't have government programs that pay for school and do other things for you. We don't have welfare, and yet a lot more families are intact. And so I asked myself, why is that? Is it the struggle that breaks up families, or is there something deeper? And for me, I am not in the position to judge anybody or judge an entire culture, but I understand the culture I was raised in. And in that culture, moms stay with dads, dads stay with moms. And yes, it's not all hunky dory, but most people grow up in a two-parent household. And that, I believe, sets up a standard where a lot of us, within a year, I saw this stat many years ago, and it always stuck with me. It says within a year of an African or any other type of Black person immigrating to America, usually within a year, they are on par economically with their white counterparts within a year. And so the question then becomes, what exactly is the difference? Is my Blackness any different from other people? What is the difference? And I don't know the answer to that because I'm not in the community. However, I understand kind of where I came from and the values that we have. I remember, I'll say one little thing. I remember in my home country, there was a song when I was growing up as a teenager, there was a song that was released, and the song had some innuendo in it. And there was a parliamentary hearing on the song. That's kind of how serious they took it. Like, they were like, what is this song promoting? Is it helping our kids? And there was a hearing. At the time we laughed and we're like, we have more important things to do than legislate on a song. But that kind of gives you a sense of the value system and how people look at this kind of debauchery in terms of our music and our other cultural tenets. And there was this idea that we need to protect our community from these foreign, ideas that end up breaking up our families and so on. So that's the perspective I come from. And hopefully, people adopt cultures that actually drive them forward and doesn't keep them kind of stuck economically or socially.
You mind telling us what country you're from? As people in the chat want to know.
I'm originally from Ghana.
Okay.
I do have a question for you.
On my bucket list. Go ahead, King J.
Well, I guess I can address this to everybody. So do you guys believe in psychological trauma from past events and years could be inherited by multiple different generations?
No,
Yes.
You don't think that's real?
No, it's definitely real.
You don't think your past controls where your future goes?
you talking about from like my great granddad?
Yeah, all that stuff. All that stuff. I think that also plays a key in why we are where we're at too, as a community. Some of us break out of it, but I think that plays a huge part in it too.
Are you talking about like their emotional well-being? emotional status or whatever? Or are you talking about
You
the thing?
all of it, emotionally, economically, everything. That circumference,
Well,
family, all of it.
I believe the things that not emotionally. I don't believe like I heard Taraji P. Henson talking about like when we were slaves back in the olden days when we laughed, we ran off the field, and that's why we black people laugh now. I don't run while I laugh. I don't believe like the emotional things that plays a factor unless my great well actually maybe I may change my mind because my great grandparents were Republicans. They were conservatives. They were biblical people. So I guess I don't know. I would say no, but I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I'll have to look into it more.
My response to that is once again, I use my background as an immigrant, and the thing I say to myself is everybody talks about the plight of American blacks and people who are brought here against their will, and I understand that plight very well. I think a lot of times people don't talk about the people who are left behind, and the fact that they also were separated from their families. They also their families were forcibly taken from them. And so then the question becomes, how have those people who are left behind processed that trauma, and have they passed on that trauma to the next generation? And what I would say is this: growing up, nobody ever told me that I was a victim. And I grew up actually in a country at the time that was under a dictatorship. But nobody ever told me I was a victim. Nobody ever told me there was something that I couldn't do. And when I thought about coming to America, there was never once that I thought that my race would affect me in any way in order to stop me from what my goals were. And so, yes, I believe, and I actually agree with you, that trauma can be passed on, but it is not biological. It is sociological in the sense that you can train the next generation to adopt your struggles, right? And for me, the way I've looked at it is sometimes you are so in the struggle that the struggle becomes your identity. And when the struggle becomes your identity, getting away from the struggle seems like you're betraying who you are. And so you hear of people who say, when you make it, you leave the hood, right? People see that as you are betraying your identity by succeeding, because the struggle is now part of your identity. So how people are called sellouts all the time. I hear that on social media because they have adopted something different. They've adopted a different mindset. And I look at that and I say, I came to America for opportunity, and I'm not going to listen to the whisperings of other people telling me that there's something I can't do because of the color of my skin. And I think a lot of people who are immigrants are not burdened by the sociological conditioning that some people do to their kids. And because of that, you end up in a place where we don't have, I would say this in as sensitive of a way as possible, is we don't have the ideological shackles. We don't have it. And so we just go into the world and we do without any ideological shackles.
My next, and I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, guys.
No, hold
We're
that.
going to get to the main topic.
Yeah, hold that, because I want to say something real important to answer your question. It's seen every day that it's passed down. Most kids, by the time they're 12 or 13 in America, black kids are shown roots in school. And I remember I was shown roots in 7th grade, and I start flipping tables just to be mad to see that there was these white people putting us in shackles and boats and bringing us over here. And it's shown every day to people who want reparations and things like that, or go against other white people that never owned a slave in their life. There's nobody living now that was a part of that, but it's still here. We still talk about it. It's part of the culture. It's protest for it all the time, every day. That's exactly what's going on. People who lead with racism, to me, that's trauma from 300-400 years ago. I just had an argument with a friend today over that because they get mad because I don't lead with racism. I know it exists. I know it's there, but it's not the highlight of my day. It doesn't affect me. I'm affected more by child support and losing my kids than I am any racism. I got pulled over a week ago, and the cop was just like, "Don't do it again. Welcome to new cities. I just moved and where I'm at." and it was cool. So yes, we as Black people, that is pretty much what's holding us down, is the trauma from slavery. It's passed down every generation. Every time you show your kids something, that's what happened. I taught my daughter about slavery before the school system, because the school system teaches it in a victim way. So I had to teach her in an empowerment way before she seen it in school. And I think a lot of us should do that.
Oh,
I'm
can I?
going to extend it. Go ahead.
For me. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I think it's a culture thing that we tend to do. Because I would say I'm very different than, because I would say I'm very different than most. I was raised differently than a lot of Black people my age. But yeah, I would say it's a culture thing. I thought he was framing it to be like your ancestors' brain, like a biological thing that passed down through us.
King J, what you were gonna say? Then let's get to the main topic.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it this quick and concise. I think there's a lot of work to do in the Black community so far as that, but I think there's a lot of external factors that play a heavy role. And while our community is so heavily influenced the way it is, and I definitely understand what Alma was saying, but when you take a look at the African American in America and the struggles that we have endured, not only was it slavery, you had to deal with Reconstruction and post-Reconstruction, and then Jim Crow. Jim Crow was less than 50 years ago. My grandma was one of the first Black African Americans to walk through Maury High School doors. So I think that is in itself, when we talk about letting some people letting a group of people go and then subjecting them to trauma after trauma after trauma. Of course, those group of people are not going to turn out right. Yeah, there are external factors where we can shield our family and teach the kids the right way, but I think we as a community have a lot of resources and stuff that we need to pour in as a group to fix the problem.
For sure. Vulgar.
All right. Let me go to the main event. Wish we had more time because I want to answer Kamal's question, but we're getting low on time. All right, here we go. Main event.